Hey everybody, hope you're staying warm out there and enjoying your break. I just want to take this time to go over the expectations for the U.S. History Decades of the 20th Century project. You can use any part of this video to hopefully clarify or make it easier to understand certain parts. And if you need further assistance, try to send me an email and I can hopefully clarify it for you. So I'm going over the sheet that was given to you in class. There'll also be a copy of this on schedule. The overview of the project, it requires you to pick a decade from the 20th century, the year 1900 to 1910, 1910 1920, 1920 to 1930, so the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Any 10-year period there. It's designed for you to actually research some of the parts of that decade. We'll get to it in class eventually, but the purpose of this project is to give you some background information of it. So you'll both need to do the research, and you also have to deliver the information. Rather than teacher talking, you taking notes and taking a test, this is a different way to learn. You get to choose the type of technology used to display the information. I know many of you have created PowerPoint presentations sometime within your schooling. If that's what you're comfortable with, familiar with, you could use that. You could use that, include relevant images like pictures, maybe a video clip that you've seen. You want to put a link in there that will help make us understand your decade. Maybe add some music, whatever you want to do there. But we're giving you the flexibility to really create whatever you want in terms of technology. You could create a video presentation where maybe you're acting out some of the scenes, or perhaps you're just explaining some major ideas and some images come up. You guys are way more tech savvy than myself, and I feel that you'll probably come up with something that can really be pretty impressive. Also, there's other digital presentations besides PowerPoint. You can use something called Prezi, really easy to use, Google Presentations, or other similar programs. You could even create your own social media page. Go for it. Open up an Instagram. Open up a Facebook page just for this one particular decade of time. It's really up to you. 9 times out of 10, if you say, Mister, can I do this? Well, if it has to do with technology and you presenting the information that you researched on the decade, I'm probably going to say, yeah, go for it. So I'm going to come back to the submission part of the project. I'm just going to flip over to the back of this page. The back of the page has some things that you really have to include, but you can always add anything else of your own interest from that time period. Let's say you really wanted to do the 40s, or you really wanted to do the 60s. Well, the reason that you really want to do it, you can include that in your presentation, even if it's not on this sheet. But I'd like you to definitely have a focus on values and culture, perhaps what was important to Americans during that time period, how were different groups of people treated, were there any movements, revolutions, civil rights movement, suffrage movements, full-on revolution, what was going on at the time? What were the politics of the times like? Who were the presidents? What political party were they part of? Were there any political scandals at the time? Were there any major military conflicts, wars, battles, just overall conflict and tensions? What were people's concerns of the time? What were people afraid of? Or what were people passionate about politics? How was the economy? Overall, was it a good time, a bad time? What was the unemployment rate like? Were people working? Were things going up and up and up and looking better? Were things getting down and down and down and down looking grim? What was the economy like? Were there any really significant inventions or technology at the time? What were important influential inventions that came out of the decade? And how have those inventions not only impacted people during that time period, but possibly today? Court system. There's been several significant Supreme Court cases over that 100-year period. What were some of them during that decade, and what kind of impact have they left on society? You do not need to answer every single one of these questions. They are there to help guide you. Honestly, the further you go away from the question, the more you're showing that you know something about the decade. Use these questions and these categories to show what you know. You do need to include the main idea of the politics, the economy, and technology, the courts, and the values and cultures, and anything else you want to bring, but you don't have to necessarily check off every single question. Really giving you guys a lot of choice with this project. You get to choose the decade, you get to choose the type of presentation you want, whether it's a PowerPoint, a video presentation, programs like Prezi or Google Presentations, any kind of social media page like an Instagram, a Facebook, if you can figure out how to make Snapchat last a really, really long time and save it, that works. A Twitter, some kind of way to show that you're using technology to show your research and knowledge of a time period that you investigated. Submitting the project, there may be some difficulties, but hopefully not. I would like you to email it to me at kpowell@maspethhighschool.org. In the subject area of the email, just include your class period, your name, and the decade. So period 2, Powell, 1940s is an example that I use. In the email, make sure to write instructions on how I can view your presentation. If you choose a PowerPoint, attach your PowerPoint to that. If you need help in how to attach a PowerPoint, you could reach out to me. Or, honestly, if you check out on the internet, it's one more thing to research, how to attach a PowerPoint. If it's a visual format, such as a video, you might want to put it up on YouTube or Vimeo and give me the link, because videos are very difficult to send via email. So you'd want to find a way to, I guess, post your video and allow me to access it somehow. And that's all I have for you. If you have any other questions about this project, please shoot me an email. And like I said, enjoy your break. Stay warm out there. I heard it's supposed to be cold.